What's going on, YouTubers? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from June 12th, 2021. And since this review for Impact Wrestling, Impact Plus presents Impact Against All Odds 2021. That took place pertains to how many matches were there that took place? 8 matches that took place in Skyway Studios in um Nashville, Tennessee, and the one match, which was the main event, that took place in the Daily's place at Jacksonville, Florida, and obviously under the promotion of Impact Wrestling, and you have your commentators, Josh Matthews and D'Lo Brown, the actual commentators, and more just matches happen on the show. There are also some couple of segments that need to talk about as well. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Routines that. Um, so let's get right into the show. So the opening, yeah, obviously they did an introduction of the pay per view itself, and the one that's focused the most on the show was Kenny Omega defending his Impact World Championship title against Moose in the main event, and they kept showing, yeah, and that was basically if that your package, for the opener of the show, and then about 3 times during the show they show a look of basically a look of what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida earlier on the day, where they show the arena of various places that was going to feature Kenny Omega versus Moose for the Impact World Championship title. And not much to say about that. Other than there was, it was just a reminder for those that were tuning in to let everyone know that the Daly's Place is going to feature Moose versus Kenny Omega, versus to the main event of Against All Odds 2021. And we'll get to who was also a commentator on that show, on the main event, I should say, at Daly's Place, which we'll get to when we get to it. But not to waste any more time, folks. Let's get right into the show here. As the opener of the show, was Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer versus the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. It was a street fight where it lasted 11 minutes and 9 seconds. I wasn't really a fan of this match at all. Not saying it was a bad match, just wasn't really a fan of it at all. I mean, you had some, some trash cans in there, trash can lids, street signs in a way, or the one way sign they had. Yeah, a chain. You had a baseball bat by Sami Callihan. I think Tom Dreamer had a candlestick, but I don't know if he did or not. I can't really remember, but I digress. Um, but yeah, a lot, a steel chest involved too as well. These guys were basically killing themselves in this match, with all these weapons. And I was around, and be honest, be honest with you, this is an opener and everything, but I was not into the match that much. Um, but the right outcome was the right outcome, and that was Sami Callihan getting the win in the match. He beat Carl Anderson in the match, and not much to say. So Tommy Dreamer and Sami Callihan did work together as a team. There were times that they weren't so sure it was going to be working as a team, but in the end it paid off very well, and it was just a one-time thing, and not much to say about it. So there you go. Before I move on, I gotta see if there was a segment that happened after the match, because again there was some segments that happened on the show. So let me see if there's any segments on here. Nope, not yet. Okay, we can move on to the next match, which the match I was looking forward to the most on the show here, besides the main event, and some other matches I also look forward to as well. Which we're talking about it. Joe Doring being accompanied by Eric Young, Diener, and Rhino. Where it tends to Joe Doring go up against Satoshi Kojima, being accompanied by Eddie Edwards. A singles match between Joe Doring and Satoshi Kojima in a singles match in 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Match itself, it was decent. I was expecting more than just decent. I was expecting to at least be a good match. But then you had some outside distractions in a way. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Ronald getting involved at the end, but he got pushed to the ring post by Kojima. Basically Kojima, handled himself there in a way. But yeah, as far as the matchup here, between these two, now obviously they're a lot older. Now I don't know when they start wrestling each other. I don't know if they wrestled each other during the 2000s or maybe in the 2010s. Back in old Japan. But pertains to right here in 2020s. Right here in 2021. I mean, Joe Dorian was always impressive, and and Kojima he's always been impressive too. Kojima is a lot older now. He's around his 50s. Joe Dorian, I think he's around his 40s maybe, or maybe his late 30s, whatever. I gotta check down on that, but yeah, I was expecting more of a good match here. I mean, it was the matches. I still love the match though, but just wasn't the match that I thought it was going to be. But in the end, of all, well, actually, I'll get to that when I get to the next match, because in this match, I said in my preview that none of these guys can afford a loss here, because Kojima just came to Impact Wrestling. He just debuted. The last thing you want to do is have him lose. And you got Joe Doring here, who's been dominant for with the Violent by Design faction. And then the last thing you want to do with him, put him up since him coming to Impact Wrestling since 2020, late 2020, is having him lose. So they did a good job of protecting him and making him look strong, and and he still to this day is looking strong, and hopefully they keep it that way. Unlike what they did with someone, but we'll get to that someone when we get to what happened. Excuse me, when we get to what happened the next match, um. But yeah, but in the end, it was George Orton getting the win, and I was I couldn't believe they had him win over Kojima like that. And I couldn't believe they had Kojima just lose there. I was gonna say this before, by the way, as well. Where I was saying my predictions that none of these guys can fall a loss here. So the best way you can protect both of them is by having them lose. And basically, I mean, they don't have to lose, but you go in this match, because you have these guys outside, involving Eric Young, Diener, and Rhino, and you had Eddie Edwards out there too. With it could create chaos, where it could have led to a no contest, and like that way you could protect both guys. But instead, you just had Kojima coming in, having beat Diener, and then you have him come here to to lose to Joe Doring. Not against not there's nothing wrong losing to Joe Doring, but at the same time, what was the point of you bringing Kojima here if you just gonna have him just lose like that? So that was my my little nitpick on that one too. But hey, either way, George Orton won. So Fine by Design also basically got a 1 point win. So not much to say. We get a promo from Rosemary telling that this could be the case night, but they could win all the titles because Decay is going to be in a tag title match, and Rosemary, who's also part of Decay, is going to become Knockouts champion. We'll get to all that when we get to those matches. But basically, Rosemary's kind of promo and everything, saying Decay, 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 Alright, next match, which it was the X Division 5-way match, where the winner will face the X Division champion whenever they said to to have a match. But based on what happened on this match here, which for example you had P.D. Williams, Trent Miguel, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Rohit Raju all in this match. That's a 12 minutes and 25 seconds. I enjoyed the match for what it was. It was decent. And then there was one spot that they did that I thought was kind of ridiculous. It looked like it didn't go a good job of making it look like it happened just out from the fly. It just okay, this could be our next spot, by the way, guys. So let's get together and do this stuff. It's basically what it was I believe Trey Miguel had, I don't remember what submission move he had on. But he had a submission move on, I believe, to Chris Bay. And they had P.D. Williams having the sharpshooter onto maybe Ace Austin, I think. But and then also the next spot they did, while Trey Miguel got a submission move on whoever he had on, and then P. Williams had the submission move on whoever he had on as well. Also, Trey Miguel and P. Williams started smacking each other. say, okay, okay, now we got the submission moves on. Now here's what we're gonna do next. Step each other. That's basically what they telegraphed it there. And then what? Because again, I couldn't remember who it was, but I'm assuming it's Rick Rajul who ends up breaking up the hole, or maybe it could have been Ace Austin. Who knows? Who knows who could have been? But the point is, that's how the that was one thing I hate about the match too. Um, and the match itself was decent. Like I said, wasn't anything I thought was great. However, the Petey Williams Canadian Destroyer from the top rope to Ace Austin though was good, but that wasn't the finish. So Trey Miguel, he went with to go for a move to the top rope, right? To I believe to Ace Austin, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe to Petey Williams. I can't remember who he was trying to go for. All of a sudden, from um from outside the ring, someone's coming up to take care of Trey Miguel, and it's Madman Fulton. Now that shocked the hell out of me. Where I like, whoa, what the hell he came from? Like, wait a minute, I thought he was supposed to be out. But apparently not. But yeah, Madman Fulton comes back after being taken out by P. Williams. Because the whole point with what happened to Madman Fulton at Impact Wrestling's Home Show edition for this show was that they was going to take out the monster Madman Fulton so that Ace Austin could handle this thing on his own. And then when Madman Fulton appeared on the show here, I'm like, and that's in my prediction too, it won't surprise me. It won't surprise me if he does show up. But but after seeing Ace Austin coming out there, now I'm saying to myself, okay, maybe he's not gonna show up. Okay, that was it. It's gonna be a fair match. We'll see who's gonna win. And then as soon as he popped up, I'm like, okay, that right just surprised me there. So what happened in this match? And I'm watching this match and everything. Going down where Trey Miguel was pushed off by Madman Fulton. Madman Fulton was being a monster, taking out P. Williams, taking out Ray Rajul, taking out Chris Bay, taking out Trey Miguel. And at one point, Trey Miguel was caught by Madman Fulton, and Madman Fulton tried to go for like a 4-way slam or whatever, but Trey Miguel got him trapped, locked up and everything. So Madman Fulton couldn't release him, And then you had P. Williams and Rick Rajul going after the Madman, but he gets him by by the chokeholds, and basically try to go for a choke slam. And then Chris Bay from the top rope goes for like a senton, like a Rey Mysterio Jr. does it, but Chris Bay called him basically to get him in the powerbomb position. So basically, Madman Fulton choke slams, slams and powerbomb all the guys that he had on him, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Ace Austin was dragged by Madman Fulton onto one of the competitors for the referee could count. But except the referee didn't count. The referee says, nope, no contest. And I say to myself, wait a minute, so you get this match a no contest, but because this match didn't need a no contest. Unless what, you're gonna do like an Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory? I mean Bound for Glory. I'm a Slammiversary, my apologies. Yeah, unless you're gonna do that that match, Ultimate X for you can also go add in Charles Alexander in there too, where it's gonna be a 6-way X Division Championship match in the Ultimate X match at Slammiversary. That's what we're going with here. Is that why they did this? Is that how they they booked it this way? And but obviously Madman Fulton was mad. He went to got the referee. And then he went to attend Chris Bay, to get him out. I mean, not Chris Bay, Ace Austin. And that was basically but basically they treat Madman Fulton like a monster here. And I see myself, wait a minute. So now also you want to book him like a monster? Like after all this time you haven't kept losing with him and Ace Austin, these tag team matches, and now also you want to build him up to be a monster? This is as lazy as booking in a way. But going back to what I was going to say here, you give this match no contest, but you wouldn't do it for Joe Doring and Satoshi Kojima? Are you kidding me? Where these guys can't afford a loss. Meanwhile, you got these guys, any of them could afford a loss on the exhibition because the way you've been booking them. Especially with how you booked Chris Bay. And he could easily took the loss. Trent Miguel, I don't know what the hell they're doing with him now. Because meanwhile you got the rest the other rascals of Dez and Wentz in NXT where the names they got the WWE gave them MSK, that tag team, they were doing a better job of being champions and being booked better than what Trey Miguel's getting what they're doing with him in Impact Wrestling. Unless the goal here is for Trey Miguel to eventually get the win later. Maybe I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But yeah, this was but at least I'll give him this. At least then they had the referee count to 3, because after Batman put in the fear, I said so. Is this where it's no DQ where he could do that? Because if that was the case, then lazy booking. Just saying. And on top of that, it would have been bullshit too. So, but yeah, I was not a fan of this. I was not a fan of this match having a no contest. If anything, that should have been no contest. It should have been Joe Doring versus Kojima. That should have been a no contest, not this exhibition match. Whatever. So we'll see what they do on Impact Wrestling on Thursday. Cause on Thursday, be sure you are Thursday. Okay, Weekend Song my way. Thursday. Good song. Anyways, I digress. Rich Swann versus W. Morsley. W. Morsley was wearing blue jeans, a Soul West bop behind them, and I say myself, bad color choice of using blue jeans. There. Yeah, obviously, it's from his hair, by the way. His wet hair. So, but still. Anyways, but the match itself, between W. Morsley and Rich Swann, this heated rivalry between the two, 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. The 5-way exhibition championship. I mean, the 5-way number contendership for the of the exhibition championship match, was 12 minutes and 25 seconds. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm mentioning it right now. But back to the match here with Morsley and Swann, 11 minutes and 53 seconds. And the match itself was decent. Wasn't the match I expected to be either, but it was still decent. W. Morsley still looks impressive. Rich Swann is always amazing. But coming out of this match, expecting who's for W. Morsley to win here, and that's exactly what happened. He won with a power bomb, which it was a sick power bomb too. I'm trying to remember how the power bomb was though. Let me just double check here. Yeah, a big power bomb. Then he goes for a release power bomb. Basically, he went for 2 power bombs, and then he lifted them up, and then power bomb, and then Rich Swann with a middle finger, and just pissed off W. Morsley. So he went for another power bomb, which it was very devastating, and he got the win. So there you go. W. Morsley got the win, and what's next for W. Morsley? To be honest with you, I had no idea. But we'll see what they do with him. As far as Rich Swann, where he goes from here, maybe back to be a tag team with Willie Mack, and try to go to the tag titles, that they should be going after, because I think I still have hope that they could be tag team champions, but again, our chance to be to the tag champions, they have to go to Fine by Design. So there you go. So it's not a bad idea, because you could have Willie Mack, Rich Swann, Kojima, Eddie Edwards versus Fine by Design. For maybe for what they could do for some anniversary, but then again, Eric Young's we don't know his status if he's gonna be clear yet. So who knows what to do with that. So yeah, so where do they go from there? I guess we have to find out, or how TJP and Bob Boss said it, because I remember this very clearly. You're gonna find out. The way they said it, you're gonna find out. I'm just saying that by the way. We go backstage. Deon Purrazzo and Kimberly and Susan. They talk about potential that they all have walking in as walking in and coming out as champions. Basically, it pertains to Kimberly and Susan because they're going to Fire and Flavor. Um, so Deanna also cut a good promo. Kimberly cuts a decent promo too as well. And then Susan starts cutting a promo, and I say to myself, oh my god. Anytime she cuts a promo, I zoomed out because nothing that Susan says fucking interests me. But then we get to Tina Dashwood being accompanied by K versus Jordan Grace with Rachel Ellering at ringside, while Tina Dashwood versus while Tina Dashwood and Jordan Grace had a singles match in 10 minutes and 58 seconds. Excuse me. Matches was I thought it was decent. I mean, there was sometimes matches the match between the two they had here was not good at all. I'm not saying that there was some bad spots in the match, but pertains to the silliness in the match, like the selfie, or taking pictures, whatever that kid with K is doing, from the outside to Jordan Grace. I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. And it's really taking away. It's really taking away of the flow of the match here, because I thought they were having a decent match here. So in the end, they did, they stepped up a notch and everything. Yes, especially Tina Dashwood. So Cable for K, he got in the apron, and he had something. I don't remember he had. Something that goes with his phone. To do something whatever. Rachel Ellering pulls him down, and Jordan Grace is like, "What you doing?" Now I can't remember how it happened. Oh yeah, she got Tina Dashwood in the guillotine choke, and that's when Kevin K got on the apron. Referee went to because referee got distracted, he went to Caleb with a K. So Richard Ellering pulls him down, and then Jordan Grace looks the whole to wonder what's going on and everything, and like, what are you doing? I got this. I don't need your help and everything. All of a sudden, Tina Dashwood rolls up Jordan Grace for the win. So yes, they're still trying to do some dissension, maybe a teaser that Jordan Grace is going to turn on Richard Ellering later on, and I'm not a fan of that. So Jordan Grace is pissed off at Richard Ellering, as Tennille and Caleb are celebrating in the ring. Jordan Grace gets in the ring, goes after Caleb for K, and that was it. That was the end of that one, and I did not like it because it's going to probably lead to Jordan Grace turning heel. Fire and Flavor. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz defends their Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Kimberly and Susan. And match lasted 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Excuse me, that's meant to say. Match was decent. Pertains to Fire and Flavor. Kimberly did her thing, but Susan, oh my gosh, she was fucking awful. Maybe it's because of the gimmick that she's doing. Maybe that's supposed to be that's on the way that her character's supposed to be. Doesn't fucking matter, because we know who Susan is. She's Sue Young. She's Susie. In fact, I want Susie back. Why can't we have Susie back? Why we gotta have Susan? This Susan character is not working for me, and I'm pretty sure it's not working for anyone else at all. I don't think anyone likes this gimmick, unless the real life Karens love this shit, because that's what Susan is. Susan is supposed to be a Karen. This is garbage. But the right outcome at the end of the day was Fire and Flavor winning. Tasha Steelz got the frog splash onto, I believe it was to Kimberly. No, actually it was Susan. Yeah, it was Susan. Tasha Steelz was once again stepping up her game. Wouldn't surprise me that later on maybe they're gonna groom her to be the next number contender for the Knockouts championship. In fact, I would rather go with Tennille, she really got her chance. I rather go with Tessa Steeles going after the Impact Knockouts Championship title against Deon Brunson at Summerversary than Taylor Wilde. But speaking of the Knockouts title, we'll get to that later. But yeah, but Final Favorite did retain, and again, the right outcome. It was basically Kimberly and Susan was such a filler. Something to feed to until Fire and Flavor face a real tag team, because Kimberly and Susan are not a real tag team. I don't care if they are paired together, to be a faction, whatever that Deon Prazo was doing with them, with the whole the whole age of the Virtuosa. Kimberly and Susan are not a tag team. I don't see them as a tag team. I don't believe they're a tag team. I don't feel they're a tag team, and I don't want to see them as a tag team. Why can't they break these up instead of trying to break it up on Richard Ellering and Jordan Grace of a tag team? How about you try to break up Susan and Kimberly of a tag team and get Susan away from Kimberly and Deon Purrazzo and have her come back to being Su Young or Susie. What was next? Alright, a match was next. And the match that was next was Vampire Design, Diener, and Rhino, being accompanied by Eric Young, defend their Impact World Tag Team Championship against DK, Black Taurus, and Crazy Steve. Theo Brown mentioned on commentary, because George Jordan is one of the tag teams with Rhino, that won the tag belts from Finn Juice, that Diener is taking a spot because since George Jordan already had his match, they're basically using the Fabulous Freebird rules because that's basically what it is. So that's what happened. Now coming to the match here, I thought it was decent. And in between to Diener, not saying he's a bad wrestler. In fact, he's a better wrestler than John Cena. I'll say that. At least he looks smooth with his moves, unlike fuckboy Buckethead. But still doesn't change the fact that with terms of him being part of this whole faction, that with his new look, his new persona, his new attitude, his new mean streak, whatever, that he's supposed to look intimidating. I still don't find him intimidating. However, he really showed me something here. Maybe it was by design. See what I did there? Because that's what Eric Young basically has been doing with his promos. Where it tends to doing things by design. So it's by design that Diener did look good in this match. And in the end, I don't remember if Eric Young got involved. He might have got involved, but either way, basically referee didn't see what happened. But in the end, because you have fine by design, can't get involved either way. Where referee not seeing there and all that. So in the end, it was. I believe Eric Young did get involved. If I recall, I think Eric Young got involved. Because Crazy Steve's trying to go for a win here, but then something happened. I think it was it was probably either Rhino or Eric Young pushed him off, whatever, something like that. And then Diener went for the Diener DDT, which was good, by the way. The DDT. So, and got the win. So of all people, Diener got the win for the team. And all right, does it make me change my mind about the guy? No. 10 minutes and 37 seconds lasted. Again, I don't remember if I mentioned it already, but I'll mention it right now. But yeah, it doesn't change my mind about he should still be part of the faction. So now what happened after this match? If there anything happened in this match? Okay, Steve McClain. So I guess he's gonna go by Steve McClain because, and on top of that, I saw something about on either on Twitter or maybe Instagram that he's gonna be called Steve McClain. He's not gonna be called McClain. He's gonna be called by Steve McClain, the former Steve Cutler. But he cuts a promo. And he's drinking, he's drinking, a shot glass. What was it? It's like an EC3 shot glass. Not one of those, those small shot glasses. What makes sense to gain just a shot. Just one of those big shot glasses. But he had a drink. Basically, cut a promo about torture. It takes time. Over years, he had an abundance abundance. I'm just gonna say of time, insulation, and oh crap! What the hell? What the hell? The ad screwed me up there. Oh, and a constraint unknown. A constraint unknown. He continues that the time forces you to know who you are, and he buries who he was for years. Now it's time for the fans to meet who he is. And then he calls himself Mr. Mayhem. I'm surprised that AEW didn't copy claim that rights for Warlow, because Warlow is Mr. Mayhem. So there you go. Just just to bring that up. There was another segment here too that happened, but I can't remember when it happened. It probably happened after the match between Morrissey and Rich Swann, but for a reason it's not showing. I don't know why it's not showing. Maybe I'll also check after this next match. Okay, no, it's not there. Okay, so I'll bring it up right now. I'm assuming it happened after the match between Rich Swann and W. Morrissey, where Brian Myers having Sam Beal, because the whole thing of how to be a professional. They basically was sitting down watching the match. Okay, I'm assuming it was that match where he's telling him to take notes and everything, and some security came by and Brian Myers said, "Hey, this is only a one class section. Get out here." And also you see Jake something passing by, and I said, "Wait a minute." I just realized something because Brian Myers mentioned here as well, saying basically Jake something is trying to tell Sam Beal to don't listen to this guy. Merchant's giving you advice and all that. Merchant's to this business, and then Brian Myers is like what do you know? You wasn't you're not even booked on the card, and as he said that I said to myself, neither are you. What are you talking about? But to get back what he was saying there, I said to myself, yeah, I agree with Brian Myers there. Why Jake something wasn't booked on this card there? Because after all, he did beat Rohit Raju. So the fact that I had Rohit Raju on this show to wrestle, and Jake something is sitting around, walking around, in catering, eating, whatever, or doing whatever, doing absolutely nothing, and then also he gets in this segment. But basically, Jake something took obsession to that, and got in the face of Brian Myers. Brian Myers, yes, hey, Sam Beal, take note, always walk away with something like that. I try to remember, what he said from there, and that was it. So basically, it's going to be a program from there. One more, folks. That annoying siren, I couldn't take that, But anyways, the whole thing when it goes annoying sirens. Sorry, God, man. Especially when they get close. Anyways, enough of that. But yeah, that's what happened there, folks. So we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, the Virtuosa, Deon Praso defending Impact Knockouts Championship versus Rosemary in 12 minutes and 1 second it lasted. And I thought the match was pretty decent. It was just between those two. No Decay, no Kimberly, and no Susan. Thank God. But it was between these two. And I thought it was a good match. In the end, it was Deon Praso getting the win over Rosemary. Because I can remember protection as well. Rosemary is just a filler. It's one defeat to Deon Praso until Deon Praso faces Taylor Wilde at Summerversary, which I think it should be Tasha Steelz who should be groomed for that one. But I think they'll groom her for Bound for Glory. We'll see. But they gotta get the belts off of them first. And I'm not trying to say break up Fire and Flavor. I'm not trying to say that. I respectfully disagree of breaking those up, because those two gel well as a tag team. They just go together. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, Fire and Flavor. Don't ever break them up. I don't care if you want to them to go separate ways. To be to get the knockout title. Don't ever break them up. Don't have them turn on one another. If you want to end the tag team, do it in a way where you want to just want them going the separate ways, and never ever have a program where they're gonna be enemies. But anyways, but that was that. All right, before we move on, let me see if there's anything else happen before we move on to the main event. But yeah, I forgot to mention too, by the way, in this match with Gian Prazo, she removed the knee brace from Rosemary, and I say myself, it should go after the knee here. That it should go for like a submission move for to go after the knee there, because that's one of Rosemary's surgery repair knee that she had, since when? Maybe it was back in 2018 that happened, which is why she had to take time off from there. But anyways, but yeah, she didn't go after the knee at all. She it was just a trick to just to get her arm and everything, but that failed because Rosemary ends up going for the spear. One got a 2, and then all of a sudden Young Person hits the pump kick, and it goes for her gut style power driver, which I already forgot what it's called now, but she got that and got the win. But yeah, I already mentioned the time and everything about the match. Now for the main event that took place at Dave's place in Jacksonville, Florida. Your commentators for that main event was Scott Demoy and Tony Schiavone, who also ends up being Don Callis on commentary as well, because the next match was Kenny Omega defending his Impact World Championship title, being accompanied by Don Callis, and as he led him to the ring. That's when he went on commentary, as Kenny Omega goes up against Moose. 22 minutes and 51 seconds lasted, and I thought this was a good match. This was obviously this was a good match, as a matter of fact. Moose looked incredible. Kenny Omega always looked incredible too. This was one spot that Kenny Omega messed up. Where he landed on his shoulder or whatever. But that was basically it. But the rest of the match was flawless until we get to the finish. But yeah, but before I get to the finish, and before I get to that as well, because I talked about this on my preview as well, because it was spoiled for me about some spots that was happening that I didn't watch that spot happen, because I knew that was gonna be the spot and everything. Because I watched a few clips of it by accident. I came across it and I was like, oh no, I want to see that part. Basically, I'm seeing a lot of impressive moves by Moose there, and even from the outside they were having too as well. And by the way, there was no fans there. There was just the AEW Dark wrestlers there to watch the match. There you go. But hey, they were behind Moose, and what does that tell you there with this Kenny Omega's title reign? Jeez. I guess I understand. In a way, I guess they were being told to boo Kenny Omega because he's a heel, and Kenny Omega's basically they feel like that Kenny Omega did betray them because he signed with Don Callis, who's part of Impact Wrestling, who's I gotta do this, by the way, quote unquote, the executive vice president, not in real life though, but when it comes to playing the character, he is. Because for those who don't know, Don Callis is no longer the EVP of Impact Wrestling anymore. There's a story article of that one, so you can look it up yourself. But what does that tell you though? What seems to these guys, that some of them that I'm probably not even signed with AEW, they're just there, to be enhancement talents. But what does that tell you? With those guys feel like they were portrayed by Kenny Omega, that they want him to be the champion, and they cheer for Moose. So, and I got Moose got that reaction too. But I think they should have held it off, Kenny Omega versus Moose for 7th anniversary, instead of doing with Sami Callihan, which I'll get to that Sami Callihan part when we get to it. Because of what I'm hearing, when it comes to the 7th anniversary, they're gonna be back in full. They're gonna be back in front of crowds, which is great. I love it. Impact Wrestling is finally getting back your fans in. That's great. Unfortunately, though, Moose is not going to be in that match though against Kenny Omega. It's going to be Sami Callihan. Now, I'm not trying to downgrade Sami Callihan, because Sami Callihan is great too. I'm not trying to bury him. I'm not trying to say that he don't deserve it, because he does deserve it. Because because like I said before in my preview, he is the draw. no matter where he goes, where he gets booed, where he gets cheered, at the end of the day, he gets a reaction, and you know, and it calls for it with him because he's a heel. He doesn't care if you boo him. He doesn't care if you cheer him. He doesn't care at all. He's the type of person that he doesn't care what how you react to him. As long, he draws the people in, and that's why he is the draw. And in a way, the fans, there will be fans behind Sami Callihan against Kenny Omega once we get to Summerversary, but it's really disappointing that Moose is not going to get that spot now, because this one desperately needed this spot definitely should have belonged to Moose for Summerversary, because I think he deserves it, and on top of that, with him being in the incredible best shape of his career, I mean he's always been good, even with the physique he had before he got that physique, because he's a 5-star athlete, a legit 5-star athlete, because someone like of his size, you don't expect him to do these type of moves, like a Brian Cage. But because someone like me watching Moose in Ring of Honor and see him do all those moves and everything, I'm saying myself, oh my god, this guy's incredible. Like he's like, and I see myself during that time in Ring of Honor, how come he's never been champion, which I thought is a rare a disservice to Moose's career there in Ring of Honor, that he's never been a champion. And then we get him into Impact Wrestling, and he's he's soaring. Him being the Impact Grand Champion. I believe at the time that was what it's called, until that belt was done away, because at one point John Smash won it. Yeah, what a great move that was, dummies. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, besides that, with Kenny Omega, and Moose, that could have been a great match for Summerversary, instead of having it on here against all odds, where a show that, let's be honest, no one didn't watch it. No one's really watching it. They only want to tune in to to one of those pay-per-views like a Summerversary, especially how the Impact Wrestling is teasing these guys that were fired from WWE to coming in. Which, spoiler alert, well, at this point now, it's not a spoiler because you already know, Samoa Joe ain't coming to Impact Wrestling. He is not even coming to AEW. He's back in NXT. He's back in WWE NXT. I guess it's better than the main roster, but it's a shame that Samoa Joe is in NXT instead of going elsewhere. But hey, it was his choice. It's his decision. Not gonna harp on the guy for that. That's what he wanted. If you want less money for that, because I'm pretty sure he's made his millions on the main roster too. So it's whatever. But in the end, I can't fault the guy for if he wants to stay there. Yes, especially if he wants to stay a brand that he's comfortable to be in, like the NXT. So, but anyways, but this match was great though. It was a great match with Moose and Kenny Omega. Moose was on the shining star of this match, and then get to the finish, which it was one of the things I saw, watching to the clips, and then I saw it unfolded too on the show, and then on BTE, the YouTube show they do. The Young Bucks came out. They super kicked Moose. Super kick party. And then they helped him to get Kenny Omega to get him into the one-winged angel. And Kenny Omega got the win. And here's why this happened too, by the way, because Brian Myers was referee, by the way. It was a referee bump. That's why. Because Moose went for the last out spear, and Omega pulled referee Brian there in the way. So that's why that happened. That's why the Young Bucks came out. And also the BTE trigger also as well. It also did to Moose as well. And then that's when they help out Omega to have Moose on Omega's shoulders to go to one-winged angel, and then 1, 2, 3. Scott D'Amore on commentary said that was bullshit, and I agree. Not because not storyline all bullshit. I'll talk about this finish was bullshit. Why didn't you need to do this? if Kenny Omega if Kenny Omega wanted, if because we all know Kenny Omega was going to retain either way. We all know the Moose was going to win either way. So this is the way that the way out. I would have been fine if Kenny Omega was just beating Moose instead of just having Moose getting screwed over. This was so fucking stupid. That's one. That finish I did not like. And then after the match, Lex goes out. Basically, and I let Sami win it. Sami Callihan. Cause I see you. And then he comes in with a bat. He takes out the Young Bucks. He takes out Kenny Omega. Don Callis is on the microphone saying, "Yo, Sami, stop! I'm your boss and everything. I'm the boss and everything, right?" And then you can't hit my family and everything. And then Sami Callihan gets a steel chair. He goes to put it on the face of Kenny Omega, like kind of like how he did to Eddie Edwards too, back in 2017. Was this 2017? I think it was 2017. Unless it was 2018. It has to be 2018. Yes, 2018. I remember because Sam Callihan didn't debut to 2017 in Battle for Glory, so that wasn't until 2018. Early 2018 that the whole thing happened at Eddie Edwards. The whole chair on Eddie Edwards, and then the baseball bat hitting the chair but slip off as well and hit Eddie Edwards in the eye. He was gonna do this to Kenny Omega here, and Don Callis like, you know what? You're fired. And then I'm like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. Sami Callihan is supposed to be facing Kenny Omega at Summerversary for the title. And he fires Sami Callihan? Because, again, he's in character. He's the EVP. Scott D'Amore is upset with this. He's arguing with Don Callis and everything. And then Sami Callihan's yelling bullshit as the show goes off the air. I'm like, so how they gonna come away from this one? How they gonna try to get Sami Callihan back for this one once we get to Impact Wrestling on Thursday? Now as this is recording, folks, it's gonna be on Thursday, but it's gonna be hours before we get to tonight's Impact Wrestling show. The reason I'm saying like that is because once it gets uploaded, anyway, and I get a chance to see it. That means we'll be hours away to watch Impact Wrestling. Either if you want to watch it on Twitch or on Access TV. I'll be working, unfortunately, so but I'll watch it on Impact Plus later. So but yeah, there you go, folks. That was it for the show. We'll see what they do with that. And that's all I gotta say what pertains to Against All Odds 2021, the show from June 12th, 2021, pertains to Impact Wrestling. And now it's time for highlights pertains to Against All Odds. For example, Swerve of the Night goes to Matt Fulton, pertains to him showing up. Shock of the Night, Sami Callihan showing up, even though he wasn't supposed to show up, by the way. That's another thing I was going to mention too. He was not supposed to show up in that match, which is why they did what they did there, pertains to Sami Callihan, wrestling on Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, to try to go after Kenny Omega, I should say, at their place in Jacksonville, Florida. Not knowing, Sami Callihan, because he's the ICU hacker, he can transport himself. Whatever. But yeah, that was a shock though that he showed up there. Moment of the night, Moose was at Dave's place in front of even though they were not actual fans, but then that to me that was a moment there because you hear crowds those playing fans saying Moose. So that was good. Promo of the night goes to Steve McLean. Video promo of the night, the Impact World Championship title match between Moose and Kenny Omega, the way it was built was good. Segment of the night, Brian Myers, Sam Beal, and Jake Something, which I thought there was other segments too, but this one really stand out for me the most. So, entrance of the night, Rosemary. Performance of the night, Moose. Move of the night, Moose's Game Changer, which is his version of the Rainmaker. Which returns him doing a discus. Finish of the night, Tasha Steele's Frog Splash. I will give it to K Omega, but nope. And on top of that, it didn't look that good either way. So, Brutal match of the night. In a midway, kind of bad and good, whatever. The Street Fight tag team match. Shows the other night, the Impact World Championship title match. Until that finish happened, but I still went for that match to be that. We did get a fight for a champ, by the way, even though it wasn't the actual crowds, but it's whatever. But fight of the night, champ from obviously the Impact World Championship title match, and finally match of the night, the Impact Knockouts Championship title match. And my overall stream for the show, I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. Not their best show, and to be honest with you folks, somewhere in one of those matches, I was getting bored. Even though it was a stacked card, and they built up the show up to being something, but not one of their strong Impact Plus shows. And I'd seen a few of their Impact Plus shows before the pandemic happened, and they were not that good either. So, but there you go, folks. That being said, thank you all for watching. For Is Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. For you to be well, stay safe, take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world, and love one another. God bless one another. Live in peace and harmony for us all. For I am out here. Ta-ta for now, and I'll see you next time.